Welcome everyone to episode 3 of the Mark Out podcast. This is Mustache, and as always, my pal Dustin. And
Hey,
Dustin,
man.
how are you doing, man? It's been a while since we talked.
Yeah, we've been keeping up, personally, but we haven't been able to do the podcast for about 2 weeks. You had something going last week, um, and then I had to move back to Alabama, so I was in the process of that move. But it doesn't matter now. We are back, and we got a good episode for you today. Do you want to go into what we're talking about?
Yeah, today's going to be a little bit of a hodgepodge, but our main topic is what's setting the wrestling world on fire. The greatest thing since sliced bread. It's coming back. It's Stone Cold Steve Austin
Oh my
in the
neck!
ring.
Oh my neck! My neck! My neck!
That's real mature of you. You know, he got power driven by right on his neck, and you're making fun of that. That's cool, dude.
Anyway, go ahead. I know you're excited about it. So, what did you want to say?
So we've heard rumors. I've seen it on Facebook. I couldn't differentiate. Is that a word? What am I trying to say?
I know what you're trying to say, but go ahead.
I couldn't tell the difference between what was real and what was fake. And I saw finally, I think it was 2 days ago, Sports Center confirmed, ESPN confirmed that Stone Cold will be going back into the ring in Dallas
Mhm.
against Kevin Owens. Oh man.
Wonder how much they had to pay him to do that.
Millions. Millions of dollars, but it's fine, dude, because we're going to have the greatest professional wrestler back in. Dustin, what is your
Stone
reaction to all
Cold,
this?
Stone Cold. What? Back in the ring. What? Dallas, Texas. What? Open a beer. What? Open a can of whoop ass. What? Get that $1 million check. What? Go home on the ranch. What? Do it again.
Yes, dude. What is your reaction though? In
Um,
all seriousness, what is your reaction to this?
I saw it. So when I first buymeacoffee.com. Okay. Anyway, I saw that on the bottom. Anyway, so the way I saw about it was I was kind of like going through Raw. I didn't watch the full episode, but I was like kind of looking at the highlights. Kevin Owens on Raw actually called him out to the match. So
Yes.
when he did that on Raw, I was like, damn, are they actually going to do it? But see, the dirt sheets, they're saying that it could be a match, but then it also could just be kind of like a confrontation, like not an actual match. Like he kind of goes in there, they have the stare off, fight a little bit, hits him with the stunner, brings out the Steve Weisers, all that shit. So if it's an actual match, I'll be excited for it because I'm honestly just intrigued if he can still go after being out of the ring for so long. But if it's just kind of like a way for them to sell tickets and then they don't actually do the match, that's kind of lame. Because we've
Well,
seen because we've seen Stone Cold at WrestleMania. He was just at WrestleMania doing something similar to a confrontation 4, 5, 6 years ago when it was him, Hogan, and Michaels. So
let me tell you why, because I don't know if you've seen Stone Cold's response that they've
I did
showed,
on
but
Twitter.
yeah, but they
Yeah.
okay. So he mentioned the last time he was in a match, he lost to The Rock, and he said, "Thank you, Kevin Owens, for giving me the opportunity to go back and kick some ass." So he's also being a little vague because he's saying, "Oh, I don't care if it's a fight or a match or whatever you call it. I'm coming there to kick your ass." For some reason, I think this will be a referee in the ring, and someone's going down and someone's getting pinned. I think I hope it is because you're right. We've seen Stone Cold come back all the time, and whoop everybody's ass and all that shit. But for some reason, I feel like this is going to be an opportunity for Kevin Owens to have a really big moment. But I hope Stone
Yeah.
Cold beats his ass because I'm not in favor of the young kids. Hashtag
Hashtag
old over
retirement home.
hashtag retirement home old over new.
Well, here's the thing is this year's WrestleMania, excuse me, this year's WrestleMania, I feel like they felt they needed to get a name like Stone Cold because they're relying a lot on like celebrity power. Like I don't know if you know the full WrestleMania match card after we kind of get done talking more
Well, yeah,
specifically.
we'll get into that because
Yeah, we'll
I
get
don't.
into it. So, but yeah, but I felt they needed something like this. That's going to be the big selling point of WrestleMania 38. So,
It's a little sad that WWE is not confident enough in their own stars to make a regular WrestleMania. But if you're gonna get anybody, Stone Cold is the deal because casual wrestling fans, wrestling fans who watch every week, nobody. I don't think there's a very big population that dislikes Stone Cold, except you. I don't know about you. You might not
I
like
I
him
don't hate Stone Cold. I like Stone Cold. Why do you think I hate everybody?
because you hate everything that's fun and good in the world.
No,
So I thought you might.
I just look, I just want them to do it right. Like again, I don't want it to be lame. I don't want them to just do it to sell tickets. Even if it's just a 10-minute match, like I'm not saying it has to be 20, 30 minutes, but like if it's like a 10-minute to 15-minute match, they got the right guy to go with Stone Cold because it makes sense in storyline wise because Kevin Owens adopted the stunner, so they could do something with that. Kevin Owens is really safe. He's one of the better wrestlers on the roster. So they picked the right opponent for Stone Cold to be able to have a good match with him. Kevin Owens can carry him through that match. So like all Stone Cold needs to do is focus on hitting his high spots and trying to get in the ring. Not to say Stone Cold's a bad wrestler, but he hasn't wrestled in 19 years. And he has a bad neck, so he needed somebody that could kind of take the pressure off.
I don't care if Stone Cold's wrestling in a goddamn wheelchair. Nobody's carrying Stone Cold in that ring, bro. So you better watch what you say. Stone Cold will always wrestle his style of match. If it's gonna be a match, I don't imagine it going longer than 5 minutes, which is
Really.
probably gonna disappoint some people. I don't see them having a 10-minute match because can you imagine Stone Cold doing like a vertical suplex
See,
or
but no, but see, here's not to cut you off, but see, here's the thing. If it was somebody else, I would agree with you. But
yeah.
Stone Cold, and the reason why you love Stone Cold is he's the most like I feel out of all the legends, he cares the most about the business, not just himself, but the business. And I feel if he's the kind of person that like if he's going to agree to a WrestleMania match, he's going to try to get the most out of it. And I don't think you get that out of a 5-minute match. So if it were me, I think he could go 10 minutes. I think him and Kevin Owens at the very least could go 10 minutes.
Well, here's my counter argument to that. It's gonna have to be no holds barred. It's gonna have to be them brawling on the outside, maybe chairs coming to the equations. A couple things have got to happen for this to be a match because I don't see them putting on a wrestling match. I think this is gonna be a fight, and there might be tables even involved. That might shock you, but there could be tables, there could be chairs. This could be a big thing, similar to how Mr. McMahon always does his matches. So if that's gonna happen, if it's more than 5 minutes, it's gonna be some crazy stuff, and I would like to see Stone Cold win.
I mean, come on. If he's in the match, he's going to win. There's
You
no
think
way
so?
Kevin Owens
Really?
wins.
Really? I
Yes,
thought
there's
you
no
would
way
be.
Because Kevin Owens is one of those guys. He just re-upped with the company because apparently you have to be careful with like the buy-in on the rumors because sometimes they're true, sometimes they're not true. But apparently the speculation was Kevin Owens just re-signed with WWE like last month. His contract expired. He
Okay.
didn't leave to go to AEW like a lot of people went. So I feel that they promised him this match, but at the same time, it's not like they've been booking him to the moon. He's kind of been middle of the road. Like they haven't buried him or booked him weak, but he hasn't like been a main focal point. So for him to beat Stone Cold at this point in time doesn't make sense. And if they're bringing Stone Cold back, he's going to win the damn match. He's not going to lose.
He's got to, man. And like the perfect thing is that most people, are gonna be like, "Oh, they're burying Kevin Owens." They always say that shit when someone loses. But here's the deal: this is Kevin Owens' idol. He used his move. He learned how to speak English from this guy.
Mm-hmm.
If Kevin Owens is not going to take umbrage with losing to a legend, it's definitely going to be Stone Cold. And if anybody deserves to win a WrestleMania match in their return and then never wrestle again, it's Stone Cold.
Yeah.
I mean, it's in Dallas. It's gonna be, man,
Photoshop the Steve Wazers. That's what he's gonna
dude.
do after the match.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. And you know what? I'm not a WWE fan, as well documented on this podcast. However, I will
Come
be
on,
there.
do it. Do it.
I I will be there WrestleMania time to see this if this happens. And if they don't wrestle, I'll be extremely pissed and I'll throw some Budweisers at the TV. But I do believe this could single-handedly save that crap WrestleMania that's about to happen. God awful, but
No, there's some
god
good
awful,
things about
god
it.
awful. We can
We'll get
transition.
into that.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
So
but
we'll go through the match card, but one last thing on Stone Cold. I think me and you are in agreement. If they do it the right way, I'm very excited for it. If this is a cheap way to sell tickets and we just get like him coming out hitting a stunner on him and doing the beer bath, we've seen that before. So like what's the difference? So as long as they do it the right way, I don't have an issue with it.
what would be the perfect way you would utilize Stone Cold in this scenario?
In this in this scenario, I mean, I would go out there, I would have him wrestle a match. I would just put on like a classic wrestling match. Like Stone Cold gets his little flurry in the beginning, and then you have Kevin Owens cut it off, and then you have Kevin Owens kind of like controlling a major part of the match because again, Stone Cold hasn't wrestled in 19 years. Then you have Stone Cold make his comeback, hit his big moves, maybe have them each kick out of a stunner or something, but then Stone Cold finish them off. 1, 2, 3. I
So,
mean, you don't have to do anything extravagant with this match. People are going to be excited just to see Stone Cold. So as
so,
long as you give them a wrestling match, you don't have to like blow the roof off as far as the match itself.
so you're gonna have no chairs, no
No.
bleeding,
Mm-mm.
nothing.
Mm-mm.
Oh man,
I'm confident. Listen, I'm confident. Stone Cold is a professional, and Kevin Owens is one of the best wrestlers. Like, I'm not talking about total package, but just pure ability in the ring to carry a match. Kevin Owens is probably the best person they could have put him against. So I have confidence Kevin Owens can get him through that match.
my feelings are mixed on Kevin Owens. Sometimes I liked him. He's the first wrestler to ever block me on Twitter. So that take that as what you will. But I do know Kevin Owens is a good wrestler. He's pretty funny. Just I don't know about a regular wrestling match for this one. I don't think it works with Stone Cold, and I think Steve knows that. This has got to be physical. This has got to be brutal, and it's got to be a brawl.
I
This ain't
mean, when
gonna
I
be no.
say, well, listen, when I say like they can do their little spots outside the ring, I just don't think you have to like get chairs and
It's gotta
tables
be
and
no holds
all that.
barred, dude. It's gotta be no holds barred. It has to. It's not gonna work if it's not. They gotta fight outside for
I don't
way
know.
longer than that 10 count.
I think
So
they could do. I think they could do something where they fight outside the ring before the match starts, officially starts, like before the bell rings. Like they go at each other on the outside and then go in. But I don't think they have to have chairs and all that shit.
someone has to go through the goddamn announce table. That's what has to happen. This is a Stone Cold match. He's got to get power bombed through the announce table and then get up and kick out. That's what has to happen. That's what's gonna happen.
Look,
Either
go ahead. I don't want to cut you off. Go ahead.
either that or Stone Cold's got to take the little folding chair, get on top of it, like Kevin Owens out on the table, and then drop the little elbow like he did back on the Rock.
Shoot the
Some
birds. Oh hell yeah!
don't be
What?
lame, but yeah, that's gotta happen, dude. That's what's gonna happen in this match, and if it doesn't happen, I'll be genuinely shocked. But also, now that you say that they're not, we've talked about that they might they're skidding around the idea of it being a match. I'm a little less excited for it, but if it is a match, it's got to be a good
Yeah,
match.
I agree. I think regardless of what we think the match should be, we're in agreement that the only way it's good is if it's an actual match.
It's got to be a match
Reg-
for the referee. Yes.
yeah. All right. So that's a good thing to segue. So talking about WrestleMania itself, I keep up obviously with WWE a little bit more. You do. So I want to see some of the matches that you think. I'm going to start off with a really good one.
Okay.
Because Edge versus AJ Styles.
Really? That's gonna that wow, that makes me a little excited there.
Yeah.
Um
Edge turned heel. He basically he issued a challenge for WrestleMania. No one accepted it. AJ came out and then he turned heel. So Edge is kind of going back to his roots, so to speak. But
Edge is going huh. So AJ's no longer a bad guy?
I guess in this instance, AJ is going to be the face. Him and Omos kind of split ways a little bit ago anyway. So it's not
Okay.
like it doesn't make it. AJ's kind of been doing it. He's been in NXT here and there, making some special appearances. But this it makes sense to have him as a face. So even though he was a heel, so
Man, these are two guys that, like, I haven't seen a lot of Edge's run, but I've only heard good things, and the matches I have seen, he's very good. Edge is one of the greatest of all time, and AJ Styles is probably my favorite wrestler in WWE.
that's
So,
yeah.
so the two of them together, I don't know what they would do. I think they should have more of a basic wrestling match. I think it would be great. It's just I don't think Edge should take a Styles clash because I don't know. Well, Edge could do
Edge
what
is
he wants.
taking some crazy shit, like when he was fighting Randy Orton and stuff like that, and when he had the match with Seth Rollins at the Saudi pay per view. I can't remember which one it was, but they did like a Hell in a Cell. So I mean, I don't know. I think Edge can go. I mean, we'll see how it goes, but I wanted to start off with that match because it only gets slightly worse from here. So
So, what has the storyline been with that so far?
what Edge and AJ?
Yeah, because storyline's very important, and I feel like I
I'm
haven't heard anything or seen anything from this
I think
WrestleMania.
they're kind of building up to it. Like I said, I got to go back and watch Raw a little bit more in depth. I just know, like I told you, Edge like didn't have an opponent for WrestleMania. He had issued an open challenge. No one accepted it the one week, which kind of planted the seed like to turn him heel because like, oh well, I came out here and asked nicely, no one accepted it. And then it was almost like AJ Styles came out and the way they were presenting it is like AJ accepted it out of pity, so
Hmm.
then, like Edge is like, "Let me remind you how vicious I can be," and like attacked him. And they're still in the process of building it. I mean, we still got 3 or 4 weeks before WrestleMania, so
They need to speed that up, bro. They got all these matches. They promised McAfee a match, and we don't even know who he's
yeah,
fighting.
I do know who he's fighting. They announced that.
They did? Okay, I'm
Yeah.
I'm curious.
Okay. So Vince McMahon was on the Pat McAfee show. They had that interview, which we'll talk a little bit more about that in a little bit. But
Yeah.
then it was either SmackDown or Raw. I can't remember which one because I saw this online, but I saw the clip. So they're talking about Pat McAfee having his match at WrestleMania, and then Austin Theory came out, which makes
Oh
sense.
man.
Which makes sense in storyline because Austin Theory is Vince's protege. So it made sense. But yeah, it's gonna be Pat McAfee versus Austin Theory at WrestleMania.
For the brand, man. For the brand,
See,
kids.
I feel that they booked themselves into a corner in that, and here's why. Because you say
Okay.
I don't critique WWE at all.
Yeah.
Austin Theory has been involved in some big like matches, like he was in the WWE title elimination chamber and stuff, but he looked very weak against like Brock Lesnar, and he hasn't really won any of these big matches. So then you have him going up against Pat McAfee, and Austin Theory is probably going to win the match. But the thing with with Pat McAfee is he's had 2 matches since he's been in WWE. He had good showings, but he lost both. So either way, it's like if Pat McAfee loses this, it's like, is he ever going to win a match? And then if Austin Theory loses, he's losing to a commentator. So they kind of booked themselves into a corner in this one, I think.
I don't think they put much stock into Pat McAfee. I think he's just happy to wrestle. I don't even think
Mm,
Pat McAfee puts stock in himself as a wrestler. So, from what I get, I think he's just a guy who's very happy. Like talking about the McMahon podcast, he seemed super excited to have him on. He seemed like he is the perfect employee there. He's just happy to be there. He's a fan. And he could care less what happens to him in the ring because he's always got the commentary spot. So, me personally, what I would have done, and I'm saddened that they didn't do it, should have wrestled Corey Graves.
If
Should
Corey
have.
Graves is cleared, though, is he
He
cleared?
is clear. He's on the clear list. That's been known for a while now. He
I
should
don't
have.
know.
He should have wrestled Corey Graves. That would have been great. And then that way nobody loses.
I think
But
they're just trying to they're pushing Austin Theory. So I think that they're just trying to give Austin Theory like a big moment. But I just think at this point, like Pat McAfee has been one of the best, like most over things in WWE.
has he?
And
I don't
yes,
know him too much.
and a lot of people love him. And it's one of these things. It's like Austin Theory is probably going to win. You're probably right. But I think Pat McAfee should win the match. But I think Austin Theory will.
If he's Vince
But
McMahon's protege, he is not losing.
all
If
right.
that's
Well,
like the accurate title for that, there's no way. But then we did have Drew
Drew
McIntyre, and
McIntyre.
we all know what happened with that.
Yeah, he left and came back and he won the WWE title.
Yeah, but he had to eat some real shit to get back to where he was.
Speaking
So
of Drew McIntyre, he has a real dud of a fucking match at WrestleMania. Let me tell you that.
wow, we are transitioning so good, dude. This is awesome.
I
Go
know
ahead.
it's almost like we're getting our flow, huh?
Yeah.
But anyway, so the next one is since Drew dropped the title, he has kind of been floundering. He's been in this feud with Happy Corbin and Madcap Moss. And Madcap Moss just fought him at the Elimination Chamber. He beat him. So now at WrestleMania, it's Drew McIntyre versus Happy Corbin.
Matt Cad Boss sounds like a second level video game boss that you fight
Mad
in a cartoon.
Moss, MOSS, Madcap
Mad
Moss.
Cat Moss, that still sounds like a second level video game boss that you fight in a cartoon game. Jeez, what the hell's going on there? And Happy Corbin, I liked Happy Corbin.
I do
You
too.
know, you have to see it
Yeah.
to appreciate it, but it is kind of funny. Um, I'm glad Baron Corbin's still in there. What do you think of that?
So here's my bold prediction for WrestleMania. Drew McIntyre has gotten the advantage on him in every single part of this feud. This feud has been going on for 3 months almost now. My bold prediction is Happy Corbin wins.
I don't even
Happy
know if
Corbin
that's
wins the
bold.
match.
I mean, I haven't been watching, obviously. Drew McIntyre used to be a big deal, but we all know WWE likes to wipe their ass with their talent and throw them away.
Mhm.
So I feel like the time has come for McIntyre. I feel like he's not fitting into the main card, and they don't want to put him as a mid-carder. So maybe they feed him to Happy Corbin. Happy Corbin's always going to be relevant, man. I feel like that guy's a lifer. And
Oh
say
yeah.
what you want, but he's good and he's entertaining. And when I watch WWE, he's my favorite part or one of my favorite parts. So I would
I mean,
not be
he's
upset.
versatile. Like I don't think he's the best. I think he's kind of boring in the ring, but his character work is really good.
Well,
And in
his
WWE,
character
that's
makes
more important. Yeah.
the fact that he's boring in the ring hilarious because he plays it up to like, I'm not this NXT high flying, kill myself type of guy. I'm gonna be an old school wrestler. I'm gonna sit there and do my moves, and you people are gonna watch me because I won $1 million on a slot machine at Park MGM.
I love his theme too. His opening of his new theme. It's like a slot machine going off and then making a little fucking sound like when you hit the jackpot and it
Yeah,
comes out. It's funny.
it was a great progression of character, and I like Happy Corbin.
So the next match, I want to see what you get on this too, because WrestleMania is 2 nights, like they've been doing the last couple of years. So this match, it's Rey and Dominic Mysterio
Okay.
versus The Miz. And have you heard about this match?
No,
Okay, who? If you had to guess anybody in the world, wrestler or non-wrestler, first guess, who do you think his tag team partner would be?
The Miz.
Yeah,
Um,
I'll give you a hint. It's a celebrity.
it's a celebrity, but it can't be. It's not Knoxville, right? I heard something about Knoxville
Yeah,
wrestlers,
we'll get to him in a minute. It's not
but it's not
Knoxville.
Knoxville. It's not Knoxville. Um, Logan Paul.
Yes.
Wow, dude,
Yeah.
I nailed it, dude.
Yeah.
I
The
nailed it.
yeah, The Miz and Logan Paul versus Ray and Dominic Mysterio.
And you know what? I'm Team Low Gang Maverick all the way, baby. So let's go.
I think they're gonna win too, honestly.
Logan Paul. You know, this is a deep thing for me. I hated the Paul so much when I was. It wasn't even that long ago. It feels like it was ages ago. But when they first popped up, I hated them a lot just for the demeanor and ignorance. They're starting to grow. They're starting to get a little smarter. Are they still the same people? Pretty much. But Logan, definitely, I like him more than Jake. And Logan's a smart guy. He's making his money. He could have been completely gone after the KSI boxing fight that they had, but
Mhm.
he's come back. He's worked with different. He's worked in different things. He has a killer podcast. You know, he's starting to get a little bit mature in his YouTube, and I guess in WWE he's started to like it. And I think like the athletic background of Logan Paul and everything that he's done, he might be one of the best celebrity wrestlers we see out there.
Really? I
I
don't
would.
know.
Why would you say that?
I don't know. I don't know why. I'm mixed on him. I think he could be good, and I think he could be absolute shit. Because I don't think he's going to take it seriously. That's why. I don't think he's going to take it seriously at all.
Logan Paul don't want to look dumb in front of all these people. Logan Paul's a college wrestler. We know he's a huge personality. He's a natural heel. I mean, most people I still kind of like hate Logan Paul, but I am excited because I like the Miz, and I think this could work out. I think Logan Paul is going to take this a little bit more seriously since he's gotten so mature. If this was Logan Paul at the age of 21, I would say, yeah, this is not going to be good. But you got Rey Mysterio, which if Logan Paul was ever a WWE fan, I don't know if he was. But if he ever was, wrestling Rey Mysterio at WrestleMania is just, people dream of that
Yeah.
stuff. So
Yeah.
I see
Maybe. Maybe.
Logan Paul hits him with the Logan bomb. 1, 2, 3, and it's over, dude. That's what's gonna happen.
Logan Bomb. See, I think the reason they might not do it at WrestleMania, but I think they're planting the seeds to have Ray and Dominic split up. So after the Miz and Logan Paul beat them at WrestleMania, I think they're going to start transitioning towards the Dominic heel turn.
That's just so predictable. But I mean, it's probably is what's gonna happen. I don't know much about this Dominic kid. I heard he's a good wrestler from you, but
Come on, Devin.
no, what? I don't know. Is he good?
Don't be stupid. We all know you know who Dominic Mysterio
I
is.
know who Dominic Mysterio, the kid on the ladder in 2006, is, but I don't know the wrestler
He's
Dominic
actually pretty
Mysterio.
good. He hasn't found his character yet. He's pretty good in the ring, but he's just kind of boring, honestly. Like that's why they kind of paired him with Ray. I feel like he needs to find his personality a little bit.
Well, yeah, and it just screams to me that if this heel turn comes, he'll be another boring generic heel turn, kind of like how Brodus Clay or anybody else who gets like one of those heel turns. Big Cass comes to mind. You got to have something more than just getting angry and wanting to be the center of attention. There needs to be something else there, and I
Mm-hmm.
hope they can find it because I
Fantasy.
feel like,
Go
huh?
ahead.
I
Go ahead.
feel like the direction they're gonna go is I'm more than my father's son, and I want to step out of his shadow, and that's just been done to
Mm-hmm.
death.
Well, see, fantasy booking here. What
Okay.
I would do is I would start the feud kind of like that, but to end the feud, no one has actually ever fully unmasked Rey Mysterio.
Well, as far as you know, because you don't watch
Well,
WCW.
I know what you're talking about with Kevin Nash, but I'm saying like actually keeping his mask off. Like once Mysterio takes the mask, Mysterio can never wear the mask again.
He worked WCW to the last of his career with the mask off, right?
What I'm okay, don't be that guy. I'm
Okay.
just saying if you okay, fine. You know what I mean though. It'd be a big moment if
And you should have said in
Dominic.
WWE he has never
Okay,
been
well,
unmasked.
because I knew about the Kevin Nash thing, but in WWE,
Yes.
having Dominic be the one to take his mask, and he could even come out wearing the mask or just carrying the mask with him. But like that would be a way to get him heat because people would be pissed. I think.
That'd
But
be some shit. I I don't know though. If Ray seems like one of those guys that will never retire until it's on someone else's terms, until he gets badly injured, God forbid, or something happens beyond his control. So I don't know if he'll be willing to give it up.
see, I disagree. I think the main reason he came to WWE is because he had the chance to wrestle with his son. And they like won the tag team titles together. And so if he was gonna go out to anyone and put anybody over, it would be his son.
He definitely would if he's ready, but I don't think he's ready. I don't. I just think he's like a Ric Flair or those old Mexican wrestlers like Mil Mascaras, where they'll just wrestle until they just can't
Mhm.
anymore, till they're 80. And I feel like he's
Sometimes
gonna
you
be one
gotta
of.
know when to hang him up, though.
A lot of people don't. Ric Flair
But
wants to come back. That's
oh
how
my
all you need to
god.
know.
Well, really quickly getting off topic, but WWE 2K22 so far has actually been pretty decent. I've got a chance to play it a little bit. Ray is on the cover. So like it's pretty it's a lot better. 20 was a damn debacle. If
When
anybody
is
plays wrestling games.
AEW getting their video game?
They keep pushing it back, man. Like because they started getting flack about it. They kind of released like some cartoony like models because they wanted to do it like Here Comes the Pain, those old
Yeah,
wrestling games. Then people started giving them flacks and they pushed it back and they keep like pushing it back and back and back. So I don't know.
they
I
just
don't
need
know.
to release it, man. The first game's not going to be perfect. Just get it out there, man.
So moving on to Johnny Knoxville. So Johnny Knoxville is fighting Sami Zayn.
He's gonna get fucked up. It's
And
gonna be bad.
so the way this match got set up is when Johnny Knoxville and the cast of Jackass, they came like it was either to Raw or SmackDown to promote the new movie. And they kind of started taking some shots at Sami Zayn. So they start going back and forth with each other on social media. Sami Zayn comes out with a shirt kind of like mocking Johnny Knoxville and stuff like that. You know, he made out his own show called Zane Out or something to mock, all that. So this past week on SmackDown, Sami Zayn beat Shinsuke Nakamura to win back the Intercontinental Championship.
Oh
Sami
my
Zayn was
god.
defending the Intercontinental title against Ricochet. In the middle of the match, Johnny Knoxville comes out to the ring during the match, distracts Sami Zayn. Ricochet wins the Intercontinental title, costs Sami Zayn the Intercontinental title. So now that set up the match between Sami Zayn and Johnny Knoxville because Johnny Knoxville cost him the Intercontinental Championship.
It's pretty bold whenever they have a celebrity go in to a one-on-one contest, especially if that guy is not an athlete. But here's the thing. The man has been a stuntman for all his life or for a long time. And you can call it what you want, but it's a stuntman. He's been a stuntman for a long time. He knows how to fall. He knows how to take direction.
Mm-hmm.
However, it just doesn't seem like in the storyline sense he's a viable contender for Sami Zayn. So Sami Zayn's got to win this.
I think he will too. I think because the whole thing with Johnny Knoxville is he gets fucked up.
Yep,
I think he's gonna get fucked up.
he
See,
is.
that's the match. I think if they bring out tables, they bring out the fucking trash cans, the chairs, and shit.
Yeah,
That's gonna be the match because
he's
it's
gonna
Johnny Knoxville.
he's gonna shoot him in the ass with a bow and arrow or something. It's gonna be something we never seen before, and he'll do it. He'll throw him into a pit of baby crocodiles, and they'll bite on his nipples. It's gonna be something crazy. It's not gonna be like any old wrestling spot you ever seen before. There might be cheese graters. There might be tasers.
Oh my
This is
god!
gonna be. See, WWE should let me promote for them because this is what I would do. I would get people to watch, but it's gonna be crazy and it's gonna be good. And I think Sami Zayn will win.
How do you feel before we go into any other matches? Because I think unless I'm overlooking anything, that's it as far as like the celebrity or like guest appearances. How do you feel about them like relying a little bit more on the celebrity like with Logan Paul, with Johnny Knoxville, Pat McAfee, even though he's a commentator, having him, the reliance of Stone Cold. How do you feel about them having to use those people to kind of promote it?
Look, I like to talk crap about WWE, but I'm gonna try to do this in a way where I'm not completely talking crap about them. They are in a time where they are not confident in their own stars. It's apparent. I don't even watch it, but you have that many 4 matches on the card that are all celebrity based or bringing back the old stars. It says that you are not confident in the new guys to sell tickets, which you know, it speaks to them not building them up properly. But if you don't have that, that's what you have to do. So I think it's a smart decision for them to do that. But WWE is gonna definitely need to start making some new people. And I think they got a couple that they could. So, asking for WWE to do that was like waiting Santa to come down the Christmas tree. It's never gonna
We'll
happen. But
we'll see. The thing about it is I think they're going to have less incentive to do that now because I think that they're kind of like shoehorning the brand split. Like they still have the two shows, but like it's a rumor. It's not a match that's been confirmed, but they're talking about having like RK Bro because they won back the Raw tag titles. They're rumoring them to have like them face the Usos to unify the belts. Then obviously, but that's a rumor. And then the big match, though, is obviously the main event: Roman versus Brock. The WWE title and the Universal title is going to be on the line. Winner gets both belts. So it seems like they're trying to shift away from that brand split again to kind of shoehorn it, so to speak.
yeah, I don't know, man. This is why I don't know how they're doing. I know they're doing well financially. I don't know what the ratings are like with them because
Mhm.
it just doesn't seem interesting anymore to get
Who do,
down to it.
who do you feel wins between Roman and Brock?
Um, who's the champ?
So Lesnar's the WWE champion. Roman is the Universal champion. They're fighting for both belts on the line.
And which one's the good guy and which one's the bad guy?
Lesnar's the good guy. Roman's the bad guy.
Uh,
But Roman has held the Universal title. If he holds it till SummerSlam, it'll be I think 2 or 3 years.
he might keep it, bro.
I think he is, but I
I
want
think
your
Ro
opinion.
d I've seen some stuff with Brock. He's getting a little bit more animated, no? I see him, like,
Mhm.
doing some things that he normally wouldn't do, and I like that, but, yeah, I just think they're gonna ride that Roman train.
Yeah, he's been the best booked thing in all of wrestling over the last year, 2 years. So I agree. Um, see what else we got on the card here. Women's match: Charlotte versus Ronda.
Oh, yeah, yeah, Snooze Fest, right? Come on.
I thought you
Uh,
liked Ronda.
Ronda's great. We haven't seen really Ronda. Has Ronda been wrestling on Raw? I don't know.
Not really. No, she won the Royal Rumble.
And
So
that's the
she's
last time you've
Charlotte
seen
is
her?
the smack. Yeah, well, she's been in some promos and confrontations and stuff. Well, no, I take that back. She had a match at Elimination Chamber. It was her and Naomi versus Charlotte and Sonya Deville, and Ronda and Naomi won the match.
So they're getting her back into ring shape.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it just seems like rehash of Mania. It's just all these old feuds that were hot like 2 or 3 years ago. I guess they're gonna try to make them hot again. I never been a big fan of Charlotte personally. I do like Ronda. I think she's definitely, besides Kurt Angle, she got used to wrestling the fastest anybody's ever gotten used to wrestling.
Hmm.
So it will be good, but I don't know how much time they're gonna give her with all this other bull crap on the card. So
Well,
probably just
they're splitting it into 2 days, though.
yeah, but they always still, dude. You have 2 days, and it's gonna be like they're gonna give Edge and Styles 1 hour and 30 minutes. They do crazy stuff like that. So I don't know how much time they'll have. Even if they get enough time, are people really invested in this feud? That's the key. You got to be invested in the feud to have a good pay-per-view, man. You just can't have two wrestlers go out there. It doesn't matter. There's got to be
Yeah.
something going into it. And I haven't heard any good storylines from this, so I don't
No,
know.
I mean, I think Ronda's going to win the belt back because the Charlotte reign has just kind of been stale. So I think Ronda's going to win. As far as that, the women's matches are kind of lackluster on this card, honestly. Like, Becky is going to fight Bianca Belair again for the Raw Women's Championship,
That should
and
be
then
good.
they have they have a triple threat tag team match for the women's tag belts. This one is like a hodgepodge. It's like Queen Zelina and Carmella, who are the champions.
Yeah.
They're fighting Sasha Banks and Naomi,
Okay.
and then Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan.
Seems like they're just trying to get people on the show at that point. But I have seen a lot of Rhea Ripley around, so it's telling me that they might do something with her. But it's just like, who cares, dude? Get rid of that damn tag titles. They're
I
not.
agree.
They
Yeah, I
haven't
agree.
been relevant since you brought them, and it's just like it was
I
cute for a
quite
while. It was cute because it's like you want something else, for the women to do because the women's revolution, and the women's roster is great, and obviously you want to utilize as much as that of that talent pool as you can, and bringing in another championship is good, but I think that they could just have two titles like AEW's doing with the TBS and the other women's title, the AEW Women's Championship. I think if you had two world titles, that's enough. I don't think you need a tag division.
I mean, the problem is not even just with the women. Is WWE has always not really put an emphasis on the tag teams. It's like
Yeah,
even the men, like that's why they need to unify those titles. Like that's just a rumored match at this point, but they need to do it because between both shows they got like 6 teams. Like I could name all the teams almost. You got RK Bro, you got the Usos, the Viking Raiders, Otis and Chad Gable,
yeah,
and Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins, the Street Profits. And as far to my knowledge, I might be forgetting about a few other teams, but that's literally it.
yeah. And see, and
So,
not to go back to AEW, but you even agree that the tag team division
oh
there is
yeah,
far superior, and
it's
it's
not even
just like
close. It's not
they
even
got
close.
so many good teams over there, and it's just like,
That's
man,
the one thing I give AEW credit for. They promote their tag teams well. They got a lot of really good teams. They're better
yeah.
at WWE than that. I'll give them that.
And they said that Tony Khan said, "I want the tag team division to be something good," and he made it happen.
I feel those AEW tag team titles are pretty protected too.
Oh
Like if you
yeah,
look at who actually wins the tag team titles,
they're good.
yeah, they don't let just anybody win them.
And there's
So
a lot of teams like that are good in there, but they'll probably just never, like we talked about the Acclaim there in WWE. They might be tag champions, but in AEW,
yeah.
there's just too much competition over there.
So running through the rest of the card, just to kind of, I didn't want to skim over it. Who do you think wins between Becky and Bianca?
Don't like either one, but I'll go with Becky.
I think Becky keeps it too. Um, we talked about Lesnar and Roman. Talked about the tag match. I think that's it as far as
What's
all
the
the
New Day doing?
nothing as far as I know yet.
Wow.
Absolutely nothing. But the rumored match, this is the big one. I wanted to save this one for last.
Okay.
So the dirt sheets, the all the people in their basements at home, and all the people that claim to have educated wrestling podcasts,
Yeah.
Dave Meltzer. But I don't like Dave Meltzer. But anyway,
Yeah,
the
you do.
rumor and innuendo is Seth Rollins is going to have a match at WrestleMania, and guess who he's going to fight?
Damn, I forgot about him. Who is he gonna fight?
The rumor is your boy from AEW is going to come over and have a match at WrestleMania.
Oh no. They gotta
Cody and Seth.
Cody's gonna come out on Dynamite in a couple weeks, and he's gonna fool
So
you
you think
all.
that's a work? You think it's a work?
I don't think so, but I don't necessarily think that him leaving AEW means he comes to WWE. He's got a lot of other stuff going on. He could just be, he was he did a lot of work, and he probably got burned out. He was not only a wrestler, he was an ambassador, he was a VP, he was doing other shows, he had a reality show. At the same time, he had that stupid Go Big show, and
So,
he did all this stuff on YouTube. He was a freaking producer. Like, he wore so many hats in AEW. So the guy
mm,
probably got burned out. Maybe it's time for him to chill out a bit. He's had a kid. He's got his wife, they're trying to raise a newborn. It's just, maybe let the guy not wrestle for a little bit.
there's
But who
one
knows?
match I want to see. I'm not a Cody Rhodes fan, but because I think it'd be a great story, there's one Cody Rhodes match I want to see.
Him versus Triple H.
Yes.
That's horrible. Triple H can't even walk anymore, dude.
Fuck
I
you.
he
You leave
can't.
Triple H alone.
I love Triple H. He's one of the greatest of all time, but I mean, he's too old for that. And Cody wrote that would be cool, but man, it kind of still saddens me that he's going to WWE, or that's the rumor, because, man, he's a bastard. but but if he does go to WWE, Seth Rollins and him would be a pretty cool match.
All right, so we don't have time to kind of like break them down. Next time we'll do like a WW or an AEW like in-depth breakthrough, but I do want to talk about Revolution. So
Yes.
I'm gonna read off the matches, and you just give a thumbs up if you thought it was good. Because I haven't watched them, I need to go back and watch them. I want to be fair, but as far as just the result of the match,
Yeah.
thumbs up or thumbs down. We'll
Okay.
go through each one.
Okay.
Okay. I'm not going to go through the pre show matches, but main card. Eddie
Okay.
Kingston defeats Chris Jericho.
I'll give that a thumbs up, man. That was some good work right
I'm
there.
glad that they actually had Eddie Kingston go over. I
Yeah.
know Chris Jericho, is all about Chris Jericho, but, you know.
That's what you'd think because you're a mark, but Chris Jericho's always down for the clown. He let everybody on Raw beat him twice in 2013, so you shouldn't say that shit. Chris Jericho will always do business if business is right.
Okay, so next we had Jurassic Express defeated Red Dragon and the Young Bucks to retain the AEW Tag Team titles.
That's a thumbs up. Oh, they just won the damn thing, dude. What do
I
you
don't
mean?
like them as a team, dude. They should have gave it to Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish.
Man, you gotta build. Look, Jungle Boy is white hot. Luchasaurus, I like him. A lot of people don't like him for some reason. Maybe because he's smarter than everybody. I don't know. But it's just the fact that you need to have a long establishing tag team in that division to make the other tag team seem good. And whoever beats them next is going to, really, really step up there. So I like it. I like them beating the Young Bucks, especially. You don't want
Mm.
the Young Bucks or the Red
I didn't
Dragon to
want
win
the.
that.
I wanted Red Dragon to win, dude.
Who's Red Dragon again?
That's
My
Bobby
memory's not.
Fish and Kyle O'Reilly.
Oh no, 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 no. No,
All right,
not long enough.
all right. So next one, Wardlow defeated Christian, Keith Lee, Orange Cassidy, Powerhouse Hobb, and Ricky Starks in a Face of the Revolution ladder match for a future shot at the AEW TNT Championship.
Give that a thumbs up. Oh, you like Warlow, dude.
He's
Well,
been,
why?
yeah, he's been one of the best in the company. They're booking him good. So I think he is the logical next world champion.
He's definitely he beat the crap out of Punk. I didn't like it. I told you I didn't like it, but when he beat the crap out of Punk on Dynamite, I knew that they will have big plans for this guy. I just see him as kind of a generic big guy, no different than a big Cass or anything. I do like him, but I don't think he should be world champion,
Well, here,
especially not
but
now.
there's so many feuds you could do with that though. Like obviously the dysfunction with him and MJF, you could play off that. You could have a match between the two.
Well, I don't know
You
if you
can
know, but later in the card, he ends up screwing MJF with the ring, his
okay.
Battleborn ring, and they're done now. So that's definitely
See,
gonna happen.
yeah, yeah. So like you could have that for the title or not, but either way, I'm just saying there's potential feuds if you have Wardlow as the champion. He could fight Punk, he could fight MJF, he could fight a lot of different people. But anyway, moving on. This is the big spicy one that all the virgins in the basement were talking about because I saw it all over Twitter. I forgot Revolution was going on until I looked at it, but everybody was talking about Jade Cargill and Ty Conti because of that kiss right at the beginning of the match. Just laid into her. Probably got a little bit of tongue in
Are
there.
we thumbs upping the kiss or are we thumbs upping the match?
If I can do the side thumb.
You're gonna give it a side thumb. I give it a, I'll give it a thumbs up because here's the thing: they're trying to do something with her character. I don't really get it. I don't know what this means for her now. Maybe she's trying to play head games now, but I didn't really see a reason to kiss her other than clicks. Maybe
I
that's
think
what they
she's
were
boring
going
as
for.
fuck. I haven't seen a lot of her. I think she's boring as fuck.
I
I don't
think
get
she's
what people
awesome.
see in her. I don't get what people see in Jade Cargill. I just don't see it. But
It's funny because you like Beth Phoenix and she's basically the
yeah,
same
because
thing.
Beth Phoenix is way better. The fuck.
I don't think so. They even do the same finisher. So it's just like what's different? And Cargill is a smoking hot athlete, dude. Let's not beat around that. And
Well, we know
it's
your
just
preference when it comes to women, so it's okay.
yeah,
I
but it's
understand.
fine. But dude, Cargill is doing well right now, and I don't think we have a contender for her other than like maybe Thunder Rosa, but she seems to be in love with Britt Baker over there, so I don't know. So far it's good to keep the title on her, but the kissing's a little it was unnecessary.
Like it got for obvious reasons, it got buzz. So that's
Yeah.
why I gave it the side thumb.
Yep.
So all the damn virgins watching wrestling, listening to it. And Jay, who does our graphics, should put or Jason should put hashtag virgins in the thing because that's who liked that match. But anyway, moving on, you touched on it. CM Punk defeated MJF in a dog collar match. Um, again, side thumb.
How dare you? That gets 2 thumbs up.
And
It
I'll
was
tell
one of
you, and I'll tell you why. I don't want to judge it too unfairly because I need to go back and watch it.
oh my god.
Why did that match have to be a gimmick match? Why?
Well, they had a regular match, dude. Because the feud. Look,
Yeah, but
listen
there are
here. Look, no, no, no.
shenanigans.
Listen
There
here.
are
Professor
shenanigans there.
Deffin's gonna school you in how psychology works in wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
When two guys hate each other and they get as spicy and personal as MJF and CM Punk have been doing, bringing in like their personal lives and family members and all that shit. Sometimes a regular wrestling match isn't enough. And we don't have the Hell in the Cell in AEW, and we don't have really anything so brutal. So you go back into the annals of pro wrestling back in the 80s, a dog collar match was just about as spicy and as brutal as you can get because you're literally chained up to this person and you have to use chain links to beat the hell out of them and to secure the victory. That's what it was back in the day. It's similar to a duel. So it makes all the sense in the world that you would have a match no holds barred between them. You already had the regular
Now,
match at the
yes,
last
but there was
pay-per-view,
shenanigans in the match, though, Devin. There was shenanigans.
and that's fine. They might do it another
Like
one.
I'm all for in my opinion, this should have been a regular wrestling match. If you want to do the Wardlow thing, that's fine. Have Punk go over the next match because you got to have Punk 1-1 now, MJF 1-1 now. You got to have the third one. Why not have that one as the dog collar match. Like, I'm not against having specialty matches because I agree when you have a hot feud like that, that's the only because people overuse the gimmick matches. I agree. You should not have a gimmick match unless the feud makes sense for it. I just thought it was too early here because they're gonna have a third match. They each won one.
Well,
So
if
like,
they're
why
gonna
use it here?
you could do another gimmick match. You can do a steel cage because now it makes sense because they thought, oh man, this is just going to be a fight, but now there's interference. So let's not have interference. Let's have you trapped inside a steel cage. That way there is no shenanigans and whoever wins, wins. You know,
Maybe.
Warlow's barred from ringside. Anybody else is barred from ringside,
Mhm.
and it just happens. So that's the logical step, my friend.
I mean, that's why I gave it a side. If I watch it and it's good, it has the potential to move up to a
I heard it was
thumbs up.
very good. I didn't see it in its entirety, but I heard it was a very, very good match.
So then you have Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, defeated Thunder Rosa to retain the women's title. As much as
Perfect.
I like Thunder Rosa,
Perfect. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10, dude. Let's go. She never loses the belt. She beats everybody. She
who is she
stays
going to
on
lose?
top.
Okay, if you had to pick one person that is going to take the belt off of her, who's it going to be? Because she eventually has to drop it. Like, who
The
takes the belt off of her?
the universe itself takes the belt off of her when she's ready to go into the grave. Nobody
Seriously,
beats
dick
her, dude.
sucker. Listen, get off of her vag for a second. If one
uh
person in the company, who would it be?
man. Man.
I don't know if there is one right now.
I'm thinking. I'm thinking. Um, maybe Jamie Hayter if they build her up right, because that's the only other
Mm,
person. She's the heavy. That makes sense. Because it's not gonna be Reba's 41-year-old cripple ass. It's got to be someone strong, and it's got to be someone who can, actually be viable. And I think Jamie Hayter's that it. I would love to see Jay Cargill do it, but Jay Cargill's got her own thing going on. I don't
they
want her
need
to
to
be.
bring my girl Deanna Perrazzo over there already and just have her take the belt off of her.
No one even knows who that is.
People know
Um,
who Deanna Perrazzo is, bastard.
yeah, that's the only thing I see. I in my perfect world though, that girl holds the title for 5 more years, 10 more years, beats Fabulous Moolah's record.
Well,
That's
good
what I
thing
would
you're
want.
not. Good thing you're not a booker. But
She's the
anyway,
best, dude.
moving on. John Moxley defeated Bryan Danielson.
Yeah, I'll give it a side thumb.
Are you gonna give it one match
Side
a
thumb.
down thumb?
No, not if I don't disagree. I mean,
Here's my
Mox.
issue with it is I'm not talking about match quality because again I got to go back and watch the matches. I get why they did it. I get it. I do because of John Moxley with his issues with alcohol, feel good story, give him a big win back makes sense. But it feels like every big feud that Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson has been in since he's been in AEW, he has lost or he hasn't won. Like he had the draw, whatever, that's whatever. But he has not won a big feud since he's been in the damn company. So like how many times is he gonna lose these matches? You know?
I don't know. I think he losing to the champion. I don't know. Maybe he should have won this one. That's why I gave it a side thumb. But I don't think the reason I gave it a side thumb is I don't think it completely kills Brian by any stretch of the imagination. I believe he could still come back. Hold on a second.
Good. You get nothing but professionalism here on the Markout podcast.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Don't I look good too, by the way? I'm about to whoop some ass
I know
coming up.
you seem like you're in shape.
I
I'm on
am
my diet
jacked.
too. I'm down about 10 pounds now. I'm gonna start swimming again. So hopefully I can get down this gut. You can go fuck up the silver spoon. That's what we'll refer to him on this podcast.
Yeah.
That's my decision. If he's watching, Silver Spoon, Scarface. I don't care. Ban me. I don't give a
He
shit.
he doesn't watch
But
wrestling. He probably watches Naruto or some shit, whatever little kids watch these days.
no,
But
he
anyway,
probably watches fucking Popeye or something. That's how old he is.
Teletubbies. But so what was I saying? Yeah, it's not that bad because Daniel Bryan's still strong. Um I think they're trying to make them a team or something. I don't know. I haven't been watching it so far, but um just kind of a dud. It's not nor good or bad. It's just a whatever. So
Um, and then you had, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just think it's going to be last comment on that is you're going to run into Chris Jericho territory when he was in WWE, where they're using Chris Jericho to put a lot of people over, and he lost like every big feud. So then it didn't feel as meaningful as it should have to beat Chris Jericho. If they're in dangerous territory, if they keep doing this with Bryan Danielson, where if Bryan Danielson is like a stepping stone in every big feud, beating him is not going to mean as much. So they need to tread lightly on that.
yeah, I agree.
So moving forward, got two more matches. We got this match. You gotta explain to me. Maybe I'm missing something. I don't know why this match was a thing, but it was Darby Allin, Sammy Guevara, and Sting
Yep.
defeated the Andrade Hardy Family Office, which is an Andrade El Idolo, Matt Hardy, and Isaiah Cassidy.
They've been going back and forth because the Matt Hardy's just always fucking shit up and messing with people and stuff. And I think after they got done with the Acclaim, they started feuding with them. And I don't know how Sammy Guevara gets in the mix. I haven't been watching Dynamite as much as I would like to, but you got some good people in there. I've heard that Sting does some crazy stuff. I saw actually he
Really,
did it. He jumped off the guardrail through a table on one of the guys, and
Jesus,
and he's like 79 years old.
he's gonna have
So
to
that's
collect his fucking AARP checks if he keeps going.
Guevara is
Get some
always
pension.
good. This is like a whatever match, but the result was good. I'll give it a thumbs in the middle.
I will too, because I don't know enough about it. But even Jason, the guy that does our editing and stuff like that, and on other podcasts, he hasn't wrestled like watched wrestling in forever, and like he fucking knows who Sting is. If he knows who Sting is, he needs to start wrestling because he's old as dirt. So,
Yeah.
any, that's a little bit of a shot at him, but I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Got
Um,
busted.
but anyway, I like talking shit. Talk shit to me too. I don't care. Anyway, I get caught say I have been told I dress like Adam Sandler all the time. I look like Jack Black and dress like Adam Sandler, so roast me all you want. Anyway, main event. Adam Hangman Page defeated Adam Cole to retain the AEW World Championship.
Your mark.
No, I
Paige.
don't. I think out of every person to
Oh
ever
my god.
win the AEW World Championship, Adam Page has been the worst champion. And
All
I don't
four of
even,
them.
and listen, I don't have anything against Adam Page. I actually think he's a decent wrestler, but the title does not feel big with him as the champion. Multiple people have said it, not just me. It like as much as I love Lance Archer, as much as I love him personally, Adam Page and Lance Archer does not seem like a feud that should be over the world championship. Adam Page has not felt like a world champion. Adam Cole is hot right now. Adam Cole, in my opinion, should have won the AEW world title.
Adam Cole didn't do enough to win the championship yet. He's only been in the AEW for like 2 months. He hasn't really, you know, beaten anybody that big yet. I think they're building up Page with these little wins. I think he needs to either. I agree with this. He needs to either fight somebody big like Punk or Max or someone along those lines, like or Jericho, even maybe somebody bigger. But like to give him these guys who are pretty up there. They're like low main eventers. Is not good. However, I think he's a great champion. I think he should stay champion a little bit longer, but you need a good heel to take this away from him. I think that's where MJF is going to come into play. I think the next person to beat him should be MJF, and MJF should be world champion.
Well, I think obviously down the road, I've told you time and time again, CM Punk is going to win that fucking title. It's going to be one of the biggest moments in wrestling in the last 15, 20 years when he wins the world AEW world title. It's going to happen. It's a matter of if or when, not if. But I agree with you. Until then, it should be MJF.
Yeah, and I don't know. Is there anything else you want to touch on that pretty much wraps up this week?
Yeah, nothing that I can think of. We kind of hit on WWE, kind of hit on AEW and everything like that. Talked about the game. So I guess what do you want to talk about next week? Do you have any plans yet?
Uh, Next week, maybe we could go into we've been talking about doing a top best women's wrestler for a while. I think maybe we should do the women's next week.
So top 10 women's of all time or women of all
Yeah.
time?
Yeah, I think that would
Oh,
be a
my
good
list is
episode.
gonna crush your list, dude.
Dude.
This is my expertise. And people don't know our conversations, but I actually liked women's wrestling before it was actually good. I was crazy. So like even when women's wrestling got good with the women's revolution, I watched it. So fucking I will absolutely crush your
Spoiler.
list.
Spoiler, Britt Baker's going to be on my list. but
Anyway.
we will see y'all next week.
All right, you guys have a great night.